I'm a huge Donkey Kong Country fan. I've played these games over and over for many years, and despite being probably succeeded by more advanced and technically proficient platform games across a wealth of new systems, the series is something I can always come back to. And it's not just the silicon graphical pre-rendered backgrounds, the sprites, or the seemingly flawless control style and well thought out levels either. Rare always invited players into each country title, ensuring consistent challenge, fun, and the ability to find hidden bonus rooms which would unlock something cool, as well as rewarding the player for overcoming tough obstacles. Each country game will always have a special place in my memories, and are probably the main reason why I talk about video games on my YouTube channel today. I mean, I've played and reviewed all three of them on Dodge This, so I decided to tackle the 8-bit Donkey Kong Land games released to coincide with their console counterparts. Now, there are two reasons why I wanted to do this. Firstly, I was so inspired by the YouTuber called X Paradigm Gamer. He's done a whole series on not only the country games but also the land ones as well. I really admired the level of detail and thought that went into each of his videos, and so I figured I'd review the series myself and see whether they stood up as alternative DK games back in the day, and indeed if they still do today. Secondly, I have played every land game on my channel and have reviewed only the third one, but that was when I was just starting out, and this video has really bad audio, was way too long, and I always felt that I could have done a much better job. So in this 3-part series I'm going to play every Donkey Kong Land game, complete them, find all the bonuses and hidden stuff, and then review them on this channel. The Donkey Kong Land games were released for the original 8-bit monochrome Game Boy as well as the Super Game Boy, and this allowed you to play it via the Super Nintendo on your TV. Playing on the big screen had obvious benefits such as a special exclusive border and an enhanced screen which lit up the backgrounds and often had a chosen colour scheme and style. The first Donkey Kong Land game was released in 1995, a full year after Donkey Kong Country had been released on the SNES, and 5 months before the second country game would be out for the system. The first Game Boy game serves as kind of a sequel or spin-off from the first game. The game's story in the manual states that Cranky Kong is seriously berating Donkey and Diddy Kong, bragging about how the first game was only a success because of the fancy ACM graphics, and that it only sold well because of this fact. Donkey and Diddy fired back at the old ape and said that it wasn't just because of the graphics, the gameplay was fun too, and that is where it matters the most. Cranky then challenges them to go on an adventure for the Game Boy where the graphics, screen size and sound would be limited. Donkey and Diddy accept the challenge and said that the game would just be as good as Donkey Kong Country. So Cranky phones K.rool and asks him to steal the banana hoard once again, and the first Donkey Kong Land adventure begins. One major difference right away is I think that Donkey Kong Land is the one game that tries to distinguish itself from Donkey Kong Country by introducing some new level types and gimmicks. Whilst you'll be platforming through some of the familiar but new jungle, snow, swimming and cavern stages, developers Rareware have also added in some pirate ship stages, levels in the clouds, treacherous mountains, platforming across huge buildings in the city, and also fighting on K.rool's Zeppelin. The enemy roster has also been altered with some exclusive enemies such as flying pigs, some new aquatic baddies, tornadoes and 4 bosses which are actually a lot of fun to fight. With that being said, starting up the game there is no hint of the story whatsoever and the game just starts. Also absent are the levels' names, which I find to be a bit odd. I don't know why this was, perhaps Rare didn't know how far they could push the 8-bit Game Boy at that time or just couldn't fit them in. I mean, the levels names are mentioned in the instruction manual, so perhaps it was just a case of the developers trying to be a little bit stylish in the effort to try and make this Donkey Kong game look and play different. Because of this, the game, and I mean this in the best possible way, feels like a Donkey Kong Country mission pack full of new levels, which is really cool. There are only 4 worlds: Gangplank Galleon Ahoy, Kremlantis, Monkey Mountains and Chimpanzee Clouds, and Big Ape City, and essentially the game has you complete levels and move across each of the maps until you meet a boss. Once the boss is defeated, then you move on to the next one. The map screen does not have any other members of the Kong family to help you out, and whilst I did question this when I was a little kid, I think I know the answer why. Cranky challenged the Kongs to have a successful adventure on the 8-bit Game Boy, and so by doing so they would not be afforded the bells and whistles of himself, Funky or Candy appearing in the game. Once you get into the game, everything looks very familiar from the level types and music. Gone is the Donkey Kong life counter, and in its place are hearts, which are now conveniently located at the bottom of the screen, letting you know how many lives you have. You will of course have to collect bananas to earn extra lives, and there are hidden bonus rooms to be found on each level apart from the underwater levels. We would have to wait till the next game for that. The levels also contain bonus coins, which can be used in special bonus rooms that contain a button that when pressed spits out lives quickly and must be caught. The game does however allow you to save your game, and you can only do this by collecting the 4 Kong letters on every level, which is a contrast to Donkey Kong Country, which gave you an extra life. Also, levels now end by jumping into a swirling portal. Graphically, the game uses a lot of the same types of graphics that the first game on the SNES had, although admittedly had to be scaled back to fit the 8-bit parameters. This is an impressive feat, considering the small screen size and zoomed in camera. Many reviewers feel that the jungle, mountain and cave backgrounds are a little too much due to the character sprites blending into the backgrounds, also that enemies can just jump out of anywhere taking you by surprise, again because of the camera which is really close. Now I can kind of see their point, but this only happened to me a handful of times during my play with this game, but it didn't dampen my enjoyment of it one bit. Also, the game does have an annoying bug which can occur when bumping into zingers or certain enemies. There were occasions when I clearly had 2 Kongs and bumped into an enemy and the game wouldn't allow me to play as the other Kong and just killed me off, meaning I would lose life unfairly. This was something I feel should have been sorted out. It doesn't happen all the time, but it is annoying. Also, the game turns the ground into a bottomless pit if you are climbing up in the level. Now, if you get to a certain height and then fall down, even though you know that there is safe ground below, you will lose a life. Now, these issues should have been sorted out. I mean, they were indeed sorted out in the next games in the series, but my guess is that Rare wanted the game to again look just as good as Donkey Kong Country, with everything looking huge and impressive, that in order to do this, they sacrificed and limited the gameplay somewhat in order for this to occur. So what about the main characters, I hear you ask? How are they going to fit both Donkey and Diddy onto Game Boy at the same time? Well, to answer your question, they didn't do this. It could have been due to technical limitations, and that it may have cluttered up the screen even more having 2 Kongs on screen. So the game does allow you to select from either Donkey or Diddy Kong, provided you have found a DK barrel and only one appears on screen at a time. The Kongs still have their trademark moves. Donkey can roll and jump on the larger foes, whilst Diddy can cartwheel and is the nimbler of the two. However, that's not really saying much though, because the game looks so good, and Rare wanted to show off these gorgeous large 8-bit sprites. The platforming is much slower than Donkey Kong Country, and so you can't move as fast as you would like, meaning that you will have to take things at a much slower pace because of this, so Diddy really only moves a little bit faster than Donkey. Still, their animations are some of the best I've ever seen on a Game Boy game. Also, Rambi the Rhino and Expresso return to help the Kongs at certain points in the adventure, but they don't really serve much of a purpose. I'm not knocking the game or anything, but if I'm honest, they only appear a handful of times. I just think that they could have been better incorporated and utilised rather than just be in some bonus rooms. In fact, I'm just not sure that Expresso is even in many of the main levels, yet Rambi the Rhino is. There is one stage in the third world where you can play as Rambi. It's where you have to climb up this massive mountain. The problem here is that Rambi's design here is straight out of Donkey Kong Country and just wasn't designed for jumping in this style of level. Whilst it did work on the SNES in his bonus level, here he feels awkward and sluggish, and it's tricky to actually get him through the latter half of the stage, meaning I would slip off and fall. So it's easier just to ignore him, which leads me to question why he was there at all. Again, I don't mean to nitpick or be overly critical, but it was an odd decision in my opinion. All 4 of the worlds though are fun, and I was bowled over with the many changes that Rare put in place, such as adding in new or remixing old music specifically for the game. Whilst we get the familiar Donkey Kong level theme, we also get a new Kremlantis underwater theme, a remixed version of Temple Voices, some brand new music for the Cloud, Mountain and City levels, and some new boss music. They were all really innovative changes and prove that Rare put a hell of a lot of thought into trying to make the Donkey Kong land game stand alone as a top tier title. Whilst it was fun to include the hidden bonus rooms, which were without a doubt a massive highlight of the series and a welcome return, there really is no incentive to find them all apart from bragging rights. There's no ending of any kind, and whilst I again think that and applaud the fact that Rare wanted to break the fourth wall by not giving you the same elements as Donkey Kong Country had, as it's a Game Boy title, they could have at least given you something. Even if it was just Cranky rocking in his chair berating you, that would have been fine. All you get, however, is a credit screen, no roll call, and it's back to the title screen, and you can try again. Now for the most important question, was Donkey Kong Land worth playing when it was released, and is it worth playing today? I would still say yes. Back in the day, Donkey Kong Land was a success and a technical achievement which, although comes at the cost of slowing down the gameplay, it was a nice portable pick up and play adventure that, although devoid of some of the important elements that made Donkey Kong Country a success, it felt like a very different experience. As for today, it depends on what you're expecting from the game. If you want a solid 8-bit Donkey Kong Land adventure that packs in tons of secrets to find and bonus endings, then go for the second or third game in the series. By no means, however, is Donkey Kong Land unplayable today. It's actually a fun and challenging and varied platform game, but doesn't have what the sequels offer, which is incentives for finishing it. Whilst again this may have been intentional by Rare, I do think that perhaps they hadn't perfected the formula at this point, and like the first Country game, they were simply testing the waters to see how far they could push the limitations of the 8-bit hardware. Not only does Donkey Kong Land have some cool gimmicks and new stages and enemies, it's a lot of fun. I can again see why many reviewers would slaughter the game. The limited screen size, the overly large sprites, the zoomed in camera and slower paced gameplay are all reasons why. However, I don't think that this is a bad game because of those issues. As a standalone title or spin-off in the series though, it showcases how unique it is compared to Donkey Kong Country 1 and does stand out from not only the whole series but also many other Game Boy platform games graphically and aesthetically. It's definitely worth a blast and can be completed quite quickly in a few hours. Thank you for watching my review. Next time I will be looking at Donkey Kong Land 2, and I have a feeling that that review might be slightly longer than this one, as there's a lot to talk about. If you have enjoyed this video, then why not smash that like button, comment, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. By doing this, you'll really be helping it to grow, but you will also receive notifications of when I upload a new video. Please look after yourselves, and I will see you next time for the next installment in the Donkey Kong Land series.